Coming up on Network Africa, several soldiers face trial for alleged coup plot on Nigeria's President Bola Tinubu. As Mozambique struggles with deadly floods, emergency teams from Global South race to assist trapped residents. Plus, high-level preparatory meetings underway in Dakar, Senegal for the upcoming United Nations Water Conference. Hello everyone and welcome to the program. I'm Joke Rogers here in Lagos. We begin in Nigeria, where the military high command has confirmed that an internal investigation has uncovered attempts by some officers to undermine the administration of President Bola Tinubu. In a statement issued by the Director of Defense Information, Major General Samaila Uba, those implicated acted in ways that violate the ethics, values and professional standards expected of personnel of the armed forces of Nigeria. According to Major General Uba, the officers found with cases to answer will be formally arraigned before the appropriate military judicial panels and tried in line with the Armed Forces Act and other relevant service regulations, ensuring accountability while respecting fairness and due process. The statement also adds that a comprehensive investigation conducted under laid down military procedures thoroughly examined the conduct of the affected personnel. The Armed Forces stresses that actions taken are strictly disciplinary and part of established institutional procedures to safeguard order, discipline, and operational effectiveness. We're checking up on Nigeria President Bola Tinubu's visit to Turkey. The special advisor to the president on policy communication, Mr. Daniel Bwala, has described the president's state visit to Turkey as a meeting of shared interests. Speaking in Ankara, the capital of the Republic of Turkey, the special advisor emphasized that the trip is not just another trip, but a strategic one that will be of benefit to both countries. President Tinubu's visit is expected to focus on security, trade and investment, education, innovation, as well as aviation, with both nations expected to hold high-level political and diplomatic engagements.
It's a strategic trip. First of all, it's an invitation by this government because, of course, you know, the president of Nigeria was a leader of ECOWAS. He's a person of influence in Africa. Nigeria also has a strong force in Africa, and with the exceptional breakthrough that we're having in all fields in Nigeria, in the economy, area of security, politics and all that. So the president showed up today for the state visit, and we're looking to the program probably starting from tomorrow when we look at those areas of possibilities that the two parties are going to explore, in the area of defense, security, in the area of economy. In fact, we have the ministers of the various fields that we intend to have bilateral talks on. They are also on this trip and ready to go. The president is a very influential leader that world leaders know. Of course, you must be aware of the relationship between Nigeria and the U.S. following the little problem we had before. That's because of the personality and the leadership that the president brings on board. So most of these leaders, especially we just, like you said, we finished with the United Arab Emirates and now with the government and the people of Turkey. Of course, you know, historically, they are good in the area of security. They also have the capacity to produce weapons that are key and critical to what we need. We also have areas where we've been of help to them. If you look at Turkey-Nigeria relationship over the years, you see investment by the Turkish people, Turkish government in Nigeria. You see also the value Nigerian people and the Nigerian government has over the years brought to the Republic of Turkey. And so this is a shared meeting for shared interests, and also a meeting that we're looking to, at the end of the day, we will give you information as to the deliverables of what will come out of it. But it is a meeting that the people of Turkey are expectant.
Across southern Africa, extreme weather is once again exposing the continent's climate vulnerability. Mozambique is battling deadly floods that have swept through communities, destroying homes, cutting off access to food and clean water, and forcing thousands to flee to higher ground. Rescue efforts are ongoing, but for many families, the immediate struggle is survival, with children, the elderly, and rural communities hardest hit. Emergency teams from around the world have rushed to the aid of those affected by severe flooding that has ravaged the southern region for weeks following heavy rains. Footage shows a South African helicopter delivering aid across the inundated region as part of life-saving operations. The Mozambican government has launched a nationwide emergency response amid the worst floods in the country's history. Rescue teams from Brazil, South Africa, the EU and the UK have reportedly joined emergency services. The floods have so far affected over 644,000 people across Maputo, Gaza and Sofala, with at least 52 confirmed deaths.
I'm a flood engineer on the Oryx. The Oryx, we call it the hope of Africa. It has a unique sound. Wherever it goes, it gives hope to all Africans. And what we saw today is giving hope for the little places we land. In small things, just loading off food or picking up people. And that's what it is.
Joining us now from is a Mozambican currently living through the floods to give us a first-hand account of the humanitarian situation on the ground and what support is most urgently needed. Dr. Walker Diaz is a Mozambican analyst based in Maputo. Thank you for joining us on the program.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure.
Right, I must commiserate with you and the rest of the other Mozambicans of this terrible tragedy, the flooding that has wreaked havoc across the country. From where you are right now, can you describe what daily life looks like as these floods continue to batter your community?
Mozambique, I think at this moment are living one dramatic situation. If you look the impacts in the south of Mozambique, in particular in Maputo, and most specifically in the other province, Gaza, we have a lot of people dead during this whole process. We have a lot of people displaced at this moment. And one other important thing we can make a mention, it's the numbers of deaths. I believe maybe we have more than the officials, what the official numbers said at this moment. And it's important to say it also, it's not only in Maputo, in Gaza. We have other situations, for example, in the center of Mozambique, in Sofala province. If you go to Buzi province, it's the one of the most affected districts with the natural disaster at this last time. So all the years is the same thing, and I think it's the time first to try to rescue the people, second to find the good conditions in the accommodation center, because the most part of the accommodation centers in the different places don't have enough conditions to support this situation. I said this because I think and I believe the government not prepared that process, all flood process. And I think that is the one reason to see the chaos in the other sites. So first to rescue the people, and the second to give, for example, minimum conditions to that people, for example, food and other basic things.
Right. And Mozambique has experienced extreme weather before, but how does this flooding compare in scale and impact for regular people?
Mozambique have one very large historic in the natural disasters, but I think all years, if you make one comparison of the during these all years, we don't found any solution to try to give first the early alert to that people in the most affected areas, and the second, we don't created good conditions to help or to give some accommodation to the peoples in the most affected areas. I think we have one large historic, but we never learn our lesson to deal with that type of things. And in particular, we have a lot of children, and maybe in the other part, we have it's the time to try to think to move our some districts, most affected districts during the raining time, and to create conditions in the other points in our country.
Right. And what are the most urgent humanitarian needs at the moment? Food, shelter, clean water, medical care, and which gaps are the most critical?
I think clean water is the one of the most important thing. But second, it's food for a lot of people is the second thing we can thinking. But I think we need to continue to rescue people because I received one information 1 hour ago. Make a mention. Maybe we'll see the second I think the second flood at this moment because we received more water from Zimbabwe, I think, and maybe the people in the Gaza district or Shoko in particular will be affected with that flood. So I think we need to more conditions to rescue that people, but to food and maybe one medical support because when we have dirty water like this created so many complications to our health and in particular to the children's on the ground. I saw on the ground some children with some allergic reaction because drink the dirty water or are affected with that water touch their body and created some allergic situation. So it's a time to thinking on that three things. I think for now it's one of the most important for that community or most affected communities.
Right. And how would you assess the response so far from the Mozambican authorities and, of course, other regional or international partners on ground?
First, for the authorities, it's I think it's terrible to talking about the reaction of the authorities because he take the actions very late, and I think that is the reason we have so many people who need that support. I think the alert came very late, and that is the reason we have a lot of people who don't have any conditions to go out with that comfort zone. But I think after the meeting with the diplomatic body in Mozambique, in particular, from other countries, we received some considerable support. European Union give some tons of food. Received, for example, from United Kingdom, the people and some boats to rescue the Mozambican people at this moment. Received also in other part some monetary support from the different countries at this moment. So it's a very large network, solidarity network for now. But from the international community, but I think we need to do more if you look to the Mozambican authorities. On my opinion, I think after that all things happen, maybe we can thinking to remove the people from that, for example, for the Institute of the Calamities and etc. Because they received that information in October on last year, but he didn't do nothing to try to prevent that type of actions, and I think that is very dangerous.
Right, Dr. Wilker Diaz, thanks again for your time, and please do stay safe.
Thank you.
And still to come on the program, an interesting fact about Madagascar. You won't want to miss that. Please stay with us. Back here in Nigeria, the Lagos state government has reiterated its commitment to continuously upgrade and put in place resilient drainage infrastructure across the state to prevent flooding. The State Commissioner for Environment and Water Resources, Mr. Tokunbo Wahab, gave this commitment after an inspection to various ongoing drainage projects in Lekki area of the state.
The Lagos State Commissioner for Environment and Water Resources, Mr. Tokunbo Wahab, and his team returned to the island for an inspection exercise. This time, the team visits Ogombo Road area of Lekki to check the wetland occupied by property owners and ensure building laws are adhered to without encroachment on drainage paths. At Mobile Road, Lekki, the team also stopped over at the ongoing drainage construction, where some of the workers on site to ensure timely completion of the project. The commissioner says the drainage alignment will help address flooding when delivered.
We got a whistleblower information that there's a bit of encroachment on our system 46. So we had to go there first. And we agreed that we should put our signpost there. They had stopped them before now. So we just want to put the signpost and ensure they never go back to reduce that alignment or tamper with the alignment, because it won't affect the Ikota River alignment eventually if we allow them to do that. And from there we went to system 44. We got complaint that a portion of the road gets flooded perpetually. That's on that Mobile Road. And we realized they dammed the upstream in between, and then they dammed the downstream to allow them to do construction work. But we've said to them they should just hasten up the work, the pace of the work, so that they can remove the dammed area and move to other areas.
Next stop is the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Road, where illegal resettlement is obvious, defacing the area with indiscriminate waste disposal.
We saw behind conservation a massive shanty springing up there. Now, Coastal Road belongs to federal government, but we communicate with the Federal Ministry of Works. And they're also burning up stuff behind that conservation area that we believe is affecting the animals.
Inspection continues in Kusela Road, Ikate Elegushi area of Etiosa, where another drainage project is ongoing to help defloor the area. Government says the project will be delivered in 24 months.
It's about our third time of coming to Kushenla together. And after our second visit, we awarded the work to be done at Kushenla, not just drainage work, but a pump station. Because you will notice that the alignment, the drainage was properly done from the junction of Kushenla Road to a point where we stopped the other time. And afterwards, we realized a lot of things had happened. They had done extension. Our own regional road is also coming through this part of the area. So we agreed to do the drainage collector and then put a pump station that will be discharging into that freedom alignment.
The Lagos State government appeals to residents to prevent natural disaster, desist from dumping waste in the median, and keep the metropolis clean.
Across Africa, water defines daily life, from communities battling deadly floods to millions still walking long distances in search of safe drinking water. Despite being one of the most water-stressed regions in the world, the continent is also among the most affected by climate-induced flooding and poor water infrastructure. Against this backdrop, African leaders and global partners are meeting in Dakar, Senegal, for a high-level preparatory meeting ahead of the 2026 United Nations Water Conference. The discussions are expected to shape priorities, investments, and political commitments that could determine whether Africa finally closes its water access gap. And as we close the program, did you know that Madagascar is the world's fourth largest island located off Africa's southeastern coast? As an island nation known as the Great Red Island, is renowned for its immense biodiversity. It's known as a unique mini-continent that broke away from India 88 million years ago, allowing 90% of its wildlife, including lemurs and half of the world's chameleons, to evolve in isolation. The country is heavily reliant on agriculture, particularly vanilla, of which is the world's leading producer. That's Network Africa. Thank you for watching. I'm Joke Rogers.